solo one in the year.
Okay, so this is our get ready for summer event and kind of get organized in terms of data collection, data publication, field organization. So the idea is that Dan's going to talk first about data, and then Brandon's going to talk about field, and then we're going to make sure that everybody that has field plans can have a chance to talk about it. Okay, just a couple announcements. The 2018 data call is open. Please submit your 2016, and also please submit your 2016 and 20. Oh, I shouldn't say and. Please submit your 2016 and 2017 data sets to Dan for publication. Our 5 years of money runs out at the end of September, and we have written for a supplement request that the program officer has asked us, to ask for. So we were invited, and we put one in, and they are looking it over to decide whether to give us a supplement. And I can't imagine what they're looking at, other than publications, how much data is online, and then just evidence that we submit about student support and stuff like that. But if there's anything that you want to do to help us get this supplement, put your data up and help Dan make sure that it's up, and go online and look to see if the data that you have provided has been placed online, and you can find it. And if you can't, talk to Dan about it, because what we're finding is that it leaves data in box, because it's like putting numbers in a big cavern and then having to pay back out. So anyway, if you're worried about the money in the future that makes all this stuff happening, the one thing that you can do other than just worry, which is what I do, incoherent worrying, is put your data up online. Okay, so do it. That's one thing I think that NSF could be doing now, is looking at our data. Call for abstracts is out. They're due Friday, 27th. If you have any questions about it, talk to your advisor or talk to me. RSVP for the CZO field trip by Wednesday, May 2nd. We need one member of each hypothesis team. So this is the field trip during all hands. And the woman that's coming, she's a professor at Rutgers, hey guys, is Ying Fan. She's a professor at Rutgers. So that she has just recently written a paper about the depth of the water table and the depth of breeding worldwide. And so we thought that the field trip was going to be about roots and trees and the depth of breeding and the depth of the water table. And I think we're going to try to go to both Shale Hills and Garner Run, right?
Game plan.
That's the game plan. And we need at least one person from each hypothesis team. But especially for students, Game Plan is great. She's really knowledgeable, easy to learn from, very interactive. I think people would really enjoy being in the field with her. So I hope we'll get more than one from each hypothesis. Are there any questions about abstract call or all hands? All right. I was funded with my husband and with Natalie to do a seismic survey. They're going to start, we, I think mostly Natalie and other people of her friendship cohort, are going to start flagging deployment locations. There's going to be 4,200 red flags, 2,100 white flags, and 63 green flags around the catchment. So it's going to look like Flag Day out there. And, please don't pull out the flags, and at least now you'll know what's going on. Any questions about that? We may know a little bit more about that when we get to her. Okay, so let's go to Dan and start talking about the data. Thank you.
I'm going to repeat some of the stuff that Sue just talked about. It's that time to send me your last year's data or any data that you might have before that. Who here has data to submit in the next few weeks? Maybe. Any others? Okay. With the metadata, please. Okay. So if you can send that to me. And also, like Sue mentioned, if you can help me check that data that's on the website, your data, that you know that either you've submitted recently or in the past. If you can go to the to our local website, czo.psu.edu. You can look in there, as well as the criticalzone.org, which is the main site for all the CZOs, where you can iterate through the different data sets and point to Shale Hills and go from there and see if you can find your data. If you can't, if you find that it's missing or incorrect, if you can notify me, give me the webpage if you can of what you did find or did not find, and any changes that need to be done there.
I mean, I just started saying to myself, I know there's stream chemistry for Garner Run. Can I find it? And I went on and I looked for it and I couldn't find it. And then started realizing I can't remember what that particular one. It was either there and I hadn't found it, and so we figured out how to make it easier to find, or it wasn't there but it was in box, and then he knew that he had to pull that in and upload it. So if there's anything you want to do to help us get this supplement fund, go do that.
Yes, and please check the metadata if you can. Criticalzone.org may or may not be going away sometime this year or next. The 9 CZOs are talking back and forth about going to a different content management system for all the CZOs to get together, to have it all in one place. Not only just as it may not necessarily be a relay place where you can find the data, but it may just house all of our data as well. But they're still going back and forth over a couple different platforms that may work as a centralized way to find CZO data. Are there any questions about that? Okay, we need to start, well, us, Brandon and myself, we've been kicking things back and forth about the file management on Box. I know there's a lot of files, there's a lot of folders, and it's tough to find certain things. It's tough for me to know what files need my attention. Does this data set need to be uploaded? You know, there are some data sets that we found that have been on there for quite some time, but it's hard for me to find those files unless if they're tagged or if I have an email sent to me, and then I can put it on a list of data sets that I need to look at and upload. I think Brandon's going to talk a little bit about naming conventions for the files. We started to work on the tagging system for files and folders, but there's a certain permission level that you need to have a certain role level within Box in order to add these tags. So we're going to look at that again and see what we can come up with there. That the tag is a way so that I can search for a tag that needs to be uploaded. So that way I can pull up, a list of 1, 2 dozen pages, 2 dozen files that need to be uploaded to the database. That's caused some overlooked data on Box that has been there for some time that we just weren't aware that it needs to be up on the site. So if you happen to go through criticalzone.org or czo.psu.edu, see that, and you know that you have data that you've submitted to be put up on the website, but you don't see it there, send me an email and we can try to figure out where it's at.
Dan, I'm just a little confused. It sounds like you really wanted to tag the files, but they were not allowed to tag the files.
Yes. I sent out an email about 2 months ago asking people to tag the files.
Right.
But come to find out,
We're not allowed to tag files.
Well-
So what exactly should we do?
just for now, email me. You can place them up there or email me the file directly, and then we'll find a place to put that
Should
file.
we have like a temporary Box file and then you could have 2 Box folders. One could be, Jennifer's new data, she uploads it to the temporary and it sits there until you put it online and then you move it over into the permanent. I mean, should we do something like that?
Well, that's an idea, but there are so many data sets that you would probably need like several sentences to tell me, this is from Shale Hills, level 0, this data set, and that. So I know we need to look at that Box. I mean, Box is nice in a certain way that you can just put stuff up there You know, almost unlimited storage capabilities there, but it's finding and, to how to find the files that have been placed there.
So one of the options to help alleviate with the tag issue would be to open it up to everybody being an editor. However, with everybody being an editor, then anybody who has that role in Box can delete any of that data. And we've kept that to a minimum, just so people don't accidentally delete data out of Box and things like that. But to be able to do the tagging that we're looking to do, you have to have that editor role to be able to do that.
Should each group have its own box? And then everybody in the group would have editing and you guys would have editing? Would that solve the problem?
I guess I don't quite understand, like 2 sets of files.
Yeah, it'd be like, so Dave's group would have a box for all Dave's data. Jason would have a box for all his data. And so they would have, their students would have editor capabilities in his box only. The Dave's students would have editing stuff in his box only. And then they could put the tags in, but then on those boxes as well, like either you or I would also be allowed to edit those, and then we could either pull from them to put it in. So that would be an option. Might be a little extra steps.
How long is the file recovery that you get through Box?
That I don't know. I don't know what the backup is on that.
They don't need to worry about the files.
What is that? I don't understand that question.
Well, Box is automatically
Backed up.
backed up by Box, and you can recover deleted files. And if we knew that was on for a year, then we really shouldn't worry about what the files are.
Depends on the account, but it's the same 30 days.
So that's.
But if we have all of our data together, we don't want to give everybody editors things. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm really just thinking about different angles, so
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that part.
There's a lot of stuff to think over this, do we give everyone editor status, or do we create another file system? It's just, we need to work it out one way or the other.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous to have everyone have editor status, because I even just within my own group, we ran into an issue where something happened where something was syncing with somebody's profile on some computer, and all of a sudden we lost like a whole folder of data that just disappeared from Box and we couldn't get it back. And so luckily, it's like we had this stuff backed up in other places. But my general approach for our group, just in the general sense, is that I have all of our machines are backed up to the ESM or whatever the Penn State backup server is. And then we just use Box for sort of transferring stuff back and forth between our temporary sort of data sharing, but not as like an archival system, just because I don't trust it as far as like a robust backup system. So I don't think that it's not versioned, it's not, you can't recover things. If you delete it from Box, right? You can't go back and recover it 6 months later and find out you accidentally deleted it. So there's a lot of power with editor status, and I think you need to be very careful about having, trading the convenience for being able to tag files. I don't think it's worth accidentally deleting the data set, or hopefully the data is backed up somewhere else other than just a Box drive. I guess that's my experience with Box has been a little bit
Hit or miss.
hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree with Roman. I think it's going to call. I feel like there's I guess for lack of better word, security risk that we're getting editor privileges. I think just the best thing that works is just upload the file where you normally upload it, because obviously it's easier than giving it to you and then you sort of deciding where it goes.
Yes.
Like for me personally, I have folders where I know things go, where I know certain data sets go, but I can just tell you
Perfect.
Here's the location of where that
Yeah,
was.
here's the file name, here's the location, and then one of us and add that tag, so that way, until I upload them to the database, that tag will be on there.
So we could, along those lines, what we could do then, we could create folders outside of the CZO data folder where for each group, and then basically just what Callum said. Here's Callum's data, here's Joe Marie's data. Everybody just puts their in there, and then this is for data that needs to be uploaded or the web, and then everything's kind of somewhat in their own folders, and then.
So the question I have is for data, for partial data sets, or let's say like, I can imagine there being like a couple different types of, I mean, lots of different types of data, but if you break it out, the types of data could be like something that is packaged and complete and published with a supplement to a paper online, and that's like a complete packaged data set that's ready for archive. That could be like, soil bed concentrations for the measurements for groundhog data set. That's different than say like rainfall data that's constantly being updated, or that it's time series data that you're gonna update every couple of months maybe, or in real time the connections to the instrument, and then maybe other data sets that are spatial data sets, like mapping data sets that are being filled in over time spatially, but then eventually will be complete. And I guess, how do you deal with the partial, like sending you back, at what point do we send you a data set that's maybe half finished, or update that same data, have some tags and say, or in the last 6 months we've made this much progress on this data set, either in time or space, and send that to you to update it so that you don't have repeat recovery or something like that.
Typically, I treat that data in two different ways. If it's data that is just done one time and will not be added to, I just save that as a file as it is, and I put it up on a server that's backed up nightly. And I display it directly off the file system that way. If it's data that I know will be added to, either time series or streaming data, or whether it's manually reported data that I maybe add to that data set every month or two. That I will put in the database that it can be incrementally added to it. If it's data that's only going to be measured one time, then it's really, I think the juice is not worth the squeeze to put it on the database at that point there. So I just leave it in the file. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't pull that out. And if data is going to be added to that, I can always extract that and put it on the server.
I would put it in the metadata as well, that indicating this is a one-time sample, or this is going to be updated every quarter, every month, or something like that. Just so people do download it, look at it, they can see that in the metadata. That okay, there's going to be more data for this coming down the road as well.
I think that's the essence of why we have trouble with our data management, and CZO nationally is having trouble. There's so many different kinds of data sets with so many different kinds of characteristics. And you can bin them in different ways, but you just bin them, and it's just really complex. As I'm fond of telling my husband, much easier to store seismic data because it's just X, Y, Z, T. That's all it is. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Okay.
As opposed to our rich, beautiful, unbelievably complex data.
Okay.
So
File
what
type.
do we just decide to do though? I mean,
Well,
basically, if you upload new data, email Dan
yes.
and tell him where it is and what the name is.
Yes. And well, probably email both of us perhaps. We'll meet.
At least Dan, yeah.
And we'll tag it. That way we can have a flag on it saying, okay, this needs looked at and needs dealt with. We need to put somewhere.
And you put that tag on.
Yes.
You have the.
He or I or Jen.
You guys like the idea of having those separate folders in box too for each group, to where
That makes sense.
just as an initial upload, it won't be not that data won't stay there. It's
Like
be
an inbox or something.
just like an inbox, right? And it'll be just so here's Calum's inbox data, here's memories, here's Shannon's data, and then That way it don't go into the main CCL, and then Dan can move it from that
Yeah, I could
over.
see maybe at the
That would-
PI level, having just an inbox for each of the PIs.
Right, yeah,
Like,
some along those lines.
You know, by user, you're gonna, it might be a little bit,
We're go by the hypothesis time.
But then do we have to tell Dan where we want that file stored after it's done being moved into the actual data? Like, so is this inbox just for data that's gonna go onto the data site, or is it for data that's gonna be moved into the actual SSH no possible?
I'd be a little bit of both, right?
Well,
That's the question. Because, I mean, yeah, it's not hard, you just tell Dan where you want to go, but.
How about for now, just put it where you have. Give me the file name. And let me know that it needs to be uploaded or taken care of or whatever, okay? File types, if we can stick with the primary ones, with CSV primarily Excel, dates sometimes are in Eastern Daylight Time, but if we can stick in UTC, it'd be much easier. Sometimes it's not so easy to do the conversions there, so. Date, in the date format of year, month, day, so on. I've never started to notice some tab living files, and if we could at all possible, stay away from those. And they're sometimes difficult to import into the software that I use for the server, so. Right? Any questions about that? Okay. Okay, this is Dennis.
So this is it, just kind of going with some of those the data that we downloaded on, I think we had come up with where Jeremy or I will be like the main people that download all of our data from the data loggers. It'll help for several things with all the students, less time having to deal with the data loggers themselves and then uploading all that data in the box. But then also help us in theory, get a little bit more consistent with their naming conventions and stuff. And so students will have to spend a little bit less time having to kind of deal with that out in the field. It's not to say that if you guys that bring the students want to learn how to download those data and look at those data, by all means, I'll work with you. We can do it directly in the field. There are ways you could just connect to the data logger and see the data in the field right on your computer. So that'd be a good way while you're in the field, at least check your data, look at some of the raw data files live. But they're also going to, like the students that are going out there for maybe the Garner Run sampling group, we still like for you guys to check the data logger batteries. Just checking that out, making sure that the wires are indeed still connected. Just a general inspection of the site, just make sure that if you guys notice anything, just let me know and we'll get it fixed right away.
So is this new? You are downloading all the data from the data loggers?
Yeah, this is something.
Previous to this, some students were doing it.
Yeah, it was
Has it been discussed around, or is
We
it
talked-
something-
we talked about it a little
So
bit
it's
last
not really
week.
news, this is.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah. It arose from discussions.
Just because I was like one of the things like then we're just on there download it, we just downloaded like 2 days prior to that. So we get a whole bunch of these files, we got merge all these files together, and then if you go from like the last download on these machines, so it's the last download from that computer, not the data logger. So then we get these big overlaps, and it's a pain in the data file to figure out where the big overlaps are. So I think this will help. Jeremy's definitely on board with this as well, because he's been helping me clean up lots. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed up, including stuff out there. Yeah.
If you are following all the data, why do you have the problem with the previous, the problem that
This is going to be no. So we shouldn't. Some of that stuff we shouldn't. That'll kind of take care of itself. From like all the all the automated data stuff, and like the hobos, the Campbell scientific data hunters. The field crew they're still gonna be responsible for going with the marks, quality sampling, and they're ground haul sampling themselves, like the gas data, the manual gas data, the TDR data, and things like that. So they'll still be going out there doing their routine visits. They'll still have data files to name and kind of upload the box. And then just processing in general, processing those data. So we upload the data to the box. But hopefully this will kind of help alleviate several things from what Dan, a little bit of what Dan went through, and some of the naming issues and it's the overlap of the data. So it just in general, it's just kind of what we put up here, some of the naming conventions that we're going to use. This is just as an example. This is from Full Farm, Valley Floor, so it'd be CF, VF, then the parameter, data type, soil moisture, then the date range. And if there's only one data, let's put that date in there. And then that way, for one, it'll help with uploading data, processing data, and then in the future, if people need a specific data frame or data time period, they'll be able to see that right in the data file itself and not have to figure out where it's at and not open a whole bunch of data files, which is what we're having to do for, well, especially a lot of the order files trying to fix up stuff.
So where will people be able to find this information?
This is on, I will email it and print this out, yes.
You didn't?
I did not, I didn't get a chance to, so, but I will email this out to everybody. And then I'm also working on, so you know what inputs already, but like an overall, like a field protocol sampling, that kind of all encompassing document that we can always be a living document, we can change things, add things, has the safety stuff and everything. Right now it's like a little over 2,000. But it has everything.
But I mean, this
But
is
going to be, this is going to be all part
of
of
it.
it.
It should be on the website too, shouldn't it be? Like this piece of it?
I don't know if it necessarily has to be on the website per se for this, just for the naming. This would be more for the box. Stuff is on the website. So
So it should be.
when they
on the
download,
website. It's gotta be somewhere they can find it.
when they download it, it'll be a little bit different.
Do we have like a data protocols folder on box?
Yes, there is one. Actually.
So that's
There
what
is
we-
actually. Yeah. So, I don't know if this was. I'll double check to make sure that's in it. But we'll make sure it's in box. And I'll email that. Make sure everybody knows what. Yeah, try to break up a little bit. It's a tick season, so I pulled off a dozen ticks off my kids this weekend, so that they're out and about.
Shale on those lemons, those gators, there should be one gators going on.
Does anybody not know about the tick farm? This news anybody?
I have more info on ticks. I'll also send this around just to make sure everybody has this. You can get it printed out, put the info on your phones. This is all emergency contact stuff for closest hospital. If we're over Shale Hills area, it's either going to be State College Hospital or DC Blair, which is in Huntington. If you use the phone that's in the shed out there, that is a Huntington County phone, so it might go to the 911 system in Huntington County, which would send an ambulance from the DC Blair Hospital. So it's not to say that that will go there, but it'll, because that phone originates in that Huntington County, you might have to, if you want to go to the Mount Whitney,
It's my understanding that phone that's in the shed is an 865 number, so it's the university.
It is, but it still originates in Huntington County, how the 911 system that's based off of physical address.
Is there a first aid kit in the?
There is a first aid kit, and there is a phone in there, and that's one of the things I'll put on here is the code to get into the key for the shed. On the back side of that shed, the little master lock box. That code is 0294. And that gets you a key to get into the shed there. And that's where the phone that's inside. So the code is 0294, which is my extension of my phone on the office phone.
We send that code out periodically, but I think we
Yep.
should send it out more often, you know? We have people joining our team so frequently, and we don't remember.
Yeah. Any questions?
So the phone, you have to hit 82. There is like a little tiny piece of paper there.
Paper there, yep.
You have to do what?
Yeah, like it's kind of like dialing out.
No, it might be good to have just like a sheet that's like a safety sheet that anyone who starts working, you can
Gets handed or
just
something.
hand somebody, physical handout or something.
But of course, that would mean that you guys, every time you have a new person, you tell us that you have a new person. So I mean, like, we are all so incredibly independent that a lot of times we find out about some new person working at you.
This was posted by the phone valve, and we posted it. Last week, so we can just.
I have a suggestion for you, Brandon, if you put like a sheet protector or just, laminate, this information on the outside of the shed, and you can also put on there, if you have problems getting in, call your phone number, everybody remembers, your phone number is actually the key. It's easier for me to remember, the connection than to actually remember the number.
Yeah.
So if you put your number on there.
I would think we should put 0294 out there somewhere.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
I thought you said put Brandon's phone number on.
But that is the key to get password.
That's your phone number.
Yeah. Like 0294.
I still think it would be good, I mean, like if we just put it at the bottom of the door or something like, put registration number and then put 0294, you know what I mean? Like, there's always numbers on sheds that don't mean anything. An API number, that's the number of a gas well in Pennsylvania, you know?
It's on Penn State gates, they have a so great scratch rating with folks.
Well, why don't you think about like getting that number up there somewhere,
Yeah.
label it as something else, don't label it as the combo with the lock, but then everybody can know that that's what that is. Because ultimately, if you did need to get in there, you would probably not be able to straight anyway, so it's great. And not the-
So when you go out in the field, this again, just common sense where they're appropriate field clothing, is the area. Before, long sleeves, long pants, tuck your pants in your boots, socks, gaiters. Something that's to help alleviate some of this stuff. Have your rain gear, sunscreen, water, all that kind of stuff. Have a field buddy. Make sure people know that you're in the field. Once you get hurt, somebody knows where you guys are at, or when you're expected to get back. If you're uncomfortable, make sure you guys speak up, especially in any kind of safety issues. Let somebody know. Let the PIs know. Let me know. Let Sue know. Let somebody know, especially if there's some kind of safety issue going on.
And if you're ever out there with something you feel is unsafe that someone wants you to do, you are allowed absolutely to say, I'm not going to do that. I don't do it. And then let a supervisor know so that we can revisit and try to figure out what we can do.
And we ran into exactly that this year with the tower. Tower isn't later, but the tower is condemned. There's the safety issues, the anchoring.
Because of that windstorm,
windstorm.
hold it over a little bit.
Hold the anchors, those concrete anchors, and put a couple of them up. Some good old snakes that we have.
This is the day that make everybody afraid of everything.
We won't have to worry about the bottom one there, not in say northwestern PA, but copperheads and rattlesnakes are definitely plenty around both in Shale, Garner Run, and not at the farm. Just operates out there. I didn't put bears on here. There are bears out at. They're not well, some might be. There are bears. There has been bear signs on the farm already.
What do you do to see one of these things?
If you see one of these guys, you pick it up and just let it go. Don't try to pick it up. Do not try to pick it up.
Back away from
Back away
the
from the
grass.
rattlesnakes. The rattlesnakes, so they'll generally let you know. You'll hear like that rattle, kind of little kids rattling. Not always, but generally they will. Copperheads, they just, I almost picked one up. I was picking up a rock, a kind of rock, and I didn't even see it. So I just make sure you pay attention to them. They do blend in, especially the sandstone water rocks. They blend right into them.
What if you see a bear? What do you do?
If you see a bear, just make some noise. Make sure that they know you're there. Back up slow. Try not to ever get yourself in between the sow and the cub. Because then pretty much game on at that point. There's really no.
Make sure you're not crossing the group.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what?
Make sure you're not the slowest in the group.
I'm always the slowest.
Yeah.
Has there been any issue with bears pulling things out of the ground?
I have not since I've been here. I think Henry Lynn had some issues with bears in the Shale Hills at one point. Is that right? That's
To
right.
my knowledge, we didn't actually think that there.
It's mostly people that it's also about.
Yeah.
We have had issues like fixed on and stuff like
We've had some stuff this past early spring, winter-ish, a lot of mice issues, chilled wires, a lot of things this year. The Shale Hills and out of the farm, already we had replaced a couple sensors. Seems to be a friendly skunk walking around the farm. Yeah, little white pup there, he'll walk right up to you. Get pretty close to you. There's careful of that little guy. Up here, no obvious. So here's some of the ticks. These are the 4 main ones we have around here. There are 25 of them downtown PA. These things are nasty. I'd rather deal with bears and same thing. These are, you can get all kinds of different diseases. The biggest one is Lyme disease. Just so you know, I've had it, my wife's had it. I'm sure a couple people have gotten it already too, but it's they can be really tiny. The biggest one you gotta watch for is the black-legged, the deer ticks. They can be especially the nymph they can be outside of the pencil point. They can be super tiny. For some reason, that seems like to be the ones that carry the Lyme disease, but not always. I mean, any of these can carry Lyme disease. The deer tick is the biggest one that carries the Lyme disease. I think. Yeah. So just check yourself for ticks, even when you're out in the field. Just check yourself, get them off of you. Just them being on you. You can't get Lyme disease from crawling on you, but you can get other diseases off their legs and stuff from being on your skin. Again, it's wearing the pants, light colored clothing, tucking your pants in your socks, all that kind of stuff helps. Wearing a gator. Thicker cotton, I like to use the 99 or the Sawyer's permethrin spray. If you can't get that, don't spray that on your skin. Put it on the day before you go into the field on your clothing, and let it kind of absorb it into your clothes. And that's what it works the best. There's other stuff. There's a regular like thicker cotton with heat, and then there's some other natural sprays that seem to help with it. And this one here, I have to start paying attention to this because I'm not 4-year-old. It's pretty early to poison ivy. So I don't get poison ivy or anything, so I don't have to worry about it. I never pay attention to it. So make sure there are poison ivy, poison out about there. There's a lot of poison ivy out the farm. Some general water safety stuff. Callan, we're gonna start wearing life jackets. Especially when we're on discharge measurements. And I'm a culprit of this as well. I didn't always wear my life jacket. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
But now you
But I will wear it. And I came across this OSHA reg. So we are required to wear it through university policy and OSHA. Right. So we're dealing with that. Any water that you can drown in. So we have 2 of them, 2 life jackets. You got your own, it comfortable, more comfortable. Wear that. I wear my own, so provide my own.
So where are they in your office?
They are in the field shop right now. I'll put them over in the hospital. So you check with the flow tracker and you walk quality. So spring golfer season has started. The junior hunt week started on this past Saturday. It runs this week, and then regular season starts this Saturday. It runs through May 31st. Just a couple things with that. The hunters do not have to wear any kind of orange or any kind of identifying marks on them. So it's going to be pretty easy to walk up on hunters, especially out of Garner Run area and Coal Farm. They do hunt at Coal Farm. I know that the Coal family, they do hunt turkeys there. One of his kids or stepchildren child hunts there quite a bit. So I still haven't heard back from her, but if you want us to stay away from the farm at all during any of the hunting period. Last year he did let me know. I emailed him again this morning, so I haven't heard back. He wants us to stay away from there on Saturdays or whatever when they hunt there. But as soon as I hear something, I'll be sure to let you all know. That's what we're stay away from the farm during hunting season.
Are you going to talk about access to Coal Farm in general?
Yeah. Yeah, that's any questions?
Probably a little faster.
All right, sorry. Shale Hills, already talked about a little bit about that tower stuff there in the bottom, but we don't have access to any of the data on the top. Other than people can still stream it occasionally. The SatFlux Tree Night 15 actually just had a part for it to fix the connection that was broke. That data logger is streaming, so that they'll be when we finish up that metadata, they'll be online as well. So the field plans for Shale Hills, this is what I've gotten so far. So if you guys want to add anything during this, please add anything to this. Ben and Caitlin will be doing a sampling here about every 3 weeks. It'll be typically on a Wednesday. This is just a rough schedule. We can change it if we need to. Jingu will be doing some well sampling. Jennifer's with ISCO's out there doing some cross-CZO. CPU stuff going on out there. Soil respirations the surveys are no longer going to happen.
If they're happy, they're going to be much less frequent.
Okay. Ted's going to be getting ready to do some neurosopron measurements.
Yeah, I guess some people will be measuring some of the soil moisture while you're doing
Is that some of the TDR sensors that you saw? And Natalie, that Sue mentioned earlier, that will be doing the seismic survey stuff. So there's a website up there that she has some info about it. There's the dates.
And the dates shift around a little bit. It's just that we've realized we have the battery and storage capacity to do everything in one big push. So rather than 2 individual deployments, we'll be doing it pretty much straight from, we'll be putting batteries in June 3rd and then going until June 9th. And so we haven't made it official yet because we're still waiting for shipment confirmation. But that, and then there likely will be a very short 3rd deployment that we won't ask for additional volunteers, but we'll put out an additional 200 instrument online across the entire watershed.
How many volunteers do you have so far?
Not enough. So, please,
You need 20 more, 10 more, 3 more, what do you need?
I think we need 10 more. You know, this is an amazing opportunity to see how this all works. I mean, it's actually quite fun. You get to go out there and swing sledgehammers and get your frustration out. The
And the
instruments,
reason you do a sledgehammer is because that starts the seismic wave and then you read it with the probe or the phones all the way across. It's actually pretty cool.
and this is one of the very first times that these instruments have been used to do this. Or before, I was just at the training center and it was like, what are you doing? What is this? And it's really one of a kind. And it'll be a really great experience. I think a lot of really amazing data to come out of it. And, yeah, so if you'd like to be part of it, we're giving out t-shirts. We'll arrange for carpooling from Penn State, and there'll be snacks and beverages, you know, during the day. So we're gonna try to help you out as much as we can.
In terms of fieldwork, when I wrote the supplement request, NSF said we could only get a supplement, which means additional money on top of the 5 years, if we were trying to complete stuff that we said we were going to do ahead of time. So we couldn't say we're going to do something new. It had to be something that we were going to do before. So I said, I think this came from you, Jason, at least in my head came from you, that it would be really nice to have a complete data set for all 3 subcatchments for 1 year. And, you know, we stopped doing stream chemistry in Shale Hills because we just don't have the human power / money to do it. And so I said that we would try to get that in that going again. So that would be another thing we might, like assuming we get some money from them, that we might start to get water samples from Shale Hills. And we should really put our heads together and make sure we do get 1 year's worth of data that includes all the data that we want and that we can afford and that we can do.
Yeah, I think that even more now, I've been working on this talk I'm giving this afternoon to CGIs and looking at the CQ data from a lot from Shale Hills and Garner Run. I'm learning so much from that I didn't know I could learn from those data. And I think if we did that at Coal Farm too, and we had good CQ relationships from all 3
For all 3
places, that
subcatchments.
would be really neat.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about the measurements.
And that's what I said we were gonna try to do, if we had some supplements out.
I just want to mention that Ben has a lot of ink flags out there.
Right.
And as your red flags will be fresh, so they won't be faded, but just know that they're ink flags.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be all numbered too, our numbers and it. That'll be all.
Yes.
Garner Run on the TDR sensors, I think from our last exec meeting we had online, I'm not sure, 100% sure, but we decided we're not going to do the TDR sensors there anymore.
Not gonna take the numbers, you mean?
Take the TDR.
Yeah, yeah, they're just come to them.
I just want to make sure too, that's all I was like.
They're not working. So unless we can figure out why and fix them, then there's just no point in spending the time we're getting a bunch of negative numbers over and over again. So stop sampling them.
It's the recreational data collection.
Isn't it fun? Yeah. Look, I'll hook up another. I'm gonna hook it up again. I'm gonna hook this one up. You know, really not that big. But that means that the automated soil moisture sampling at Garner Run is doubling. So I'm sure that it's as solid as it can be. That it's so we'll keep monitoring the battery power there for you, and then looking at
You're working it. Yeah, Keishane's doing a great job. Keeping up with the great UCL, so much great job with data. So as we get that in grade, then it'll be online then too as well. Yeah, just some other minor things with the batteries there. A couple of sites need to be just some minor wiring fixes, and then the flume. We already did this. Just had to go up on the high wire, push apart some of the flume. There I got to run. So I had to add some more rods just to build it up to try and help prevent a little bit of flow bypassing it. And then again, here's just some of the field plans for there. Ben and Caitlin's doing that sampling there. Virginia will be doing some of the well and stream sampling there about once a month. The Cool Farm, so this is a kind of somewhat of a big thing. The Cool Farm is private property that Dr. Herb Cole has graciously let us on his property to do a ton of experimentation, research, including drilling wells and everything. So just please be respectful. We haven't had any issues like people not being respectful. I just want to make sure everybody continues to be respectful, both the people out there and the land. Pick up after yourselves. If you see trash, just pick it up. Even if it's not yours, just help keep it cleaned up for him. I hope he'll let us keep doing the research out there. If you are going out there, please let me know ahead of time. Preferably 2-3 days ahead of time so I can call. The Herb Cole does not live there. He has one of the neighbors that oversees the farm for him. He watches it like a hawk. And he gets some nasty phone calls. Not nasty, but I get phone calls from him and say, hey, who's out there? Let me know. So I've happened a couple of times, but just let me know so I can call them and let them know that he's probably out there. Especially on weekends and everything too. So don't just show up out there, please. There is a new monitoring well that we drilled. It's in the western field, downslope from the, not really downslope, I guess, but between the groundhog pit and the spring area. And it's about 4.2 meters and a screen the whole depth. We are planning on putting several more out there. But as soon as John jumped in, and then Mike, you guys remember Mike Forging? He's an undergrad that helped with us with the CZO last summer. He's going to work a little bit with us this summer too. It's kind of part of his thesis as well. So this groundhog sampling again out there with Ben and Caitlin. Josh Shang is looking at getting cosmos out there. Harry's been doing some, actually this is past weekend, started 6137 sampling. I know maybe another day or two.
Yeah, probably one or two.
Callan will keep doing the good well. It's your sampling. Hopefully the nicer days not the well sampling all the time. The rest of Shapich Creek and other synoptic sampling. I mentioned John, Duncan, Mike Forging will also be using the S-can in this delta phase, which is another specializer. We're going to doing some point measurements and deployment. And then again, drilling and installing some other shallow wells. Some of these wells, I'm sorry.
Does your sampling include spraying as an elephant spraying before it goes into the pond?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, there's a pretty clear place where it happens to see like there's 2 rows of stuff. All right.
Field help. If you have any help, let me know. Let us know. Send us the email. Send me an email. When we have the field calendar, we try to keep track of everything that's going on that. Field calendar is linked directly to our website. That helps the other CZOs and everybody else keep track of what we're doing. That we are doing something like that. Any questions, concerns, problems, issues?
So then I just thought we could discuss field plans to the extent that anybody wants to discuss them. I don't have a big overall push on this. Does anybody have something they want to bring up about a field concern or a field plan?
We're continuing the automated respiration for a period there. We have flat, when we're dropping. But at least for now, we're continuing to go ahead with the registration. Big question.
Yeah, and like I said, I have probably one, maybe 2 more days of digging pits for, using isotope sampling. And it'll be sometime within the next 2 weeks. It has to be done by 2 weeks from now, because that's when they're planting. It goes a lot faster, with a few types of hands, so, I'll have to bring in some.
They're really easy soil pits to dig compared to Garner Run.
Yeah.
I guess on a related note, if there are other people who are interested in samples from these pits, I think we should have enough, we're collecting enough material that stuff can be siphoned off if there are other measurements that you want to make along these. So probably have in total maybe 10 or 12 soil pits down a couple of patinas, one on either side of the valley. So come chat, I guess.
So, technically, any sample that we do an analysis on, we're supposed to save and give it a special number to and everything. And Jennifer knows all about how to do this. There's an international registration number for samples, and she knows how to do it. And they get registered under Shale Hills, you know. It's especially important if you're going to collect samples where multiple measurements are going to be made on them. You know what I mean? Like if you think that your samples might actually be useful for people somewhere else, that's certainly written here. So you can talk to Jennifer about that. We're supposed to be all moving towards this international registration thing, like all geochemists, soil scientists, whatever else are doing this, but I've never seen anything where everybody does it. I know that we actually had some students that did this well, really well, and published their papers and did it all right. And so our papers are held up as an exemplar of how it's supposed to be done. So that in itself is good, right? Because then somebody else is advertising your paper just because you're doing the sample and registration part of it. Jennifer knows how to do that. Yeah. We've got the first soil chemistry data getting organized into a senior thesis right now for coal farm. And I think we're starting to have a first glimpse of sort of what's going on with the chemistry. So I think that's good. I don't know what more we can do with more kits, you know what I mean? Like most of the haven't thought of. Well, you should get that to Nathan like in 2 minutes because I keep seeing new versions of the thesis with new versions of parents.
And he's probably presentations tomorrow at 9 a.m. and 5:45 time.
I have never seen anyone work as hard as Nathan. I mean, he is working so hard. It's just amazing. Other comments about field things that are going to happen? Ken, do you have any comments from your team, you or your team? Right in your mouth, so sorry.
Your time's up. Yes, Flux Tower is running at the farm. You missed it there, but in Shale Hills, that tower is officially we're not. Yeah, it's the anchors do need to be buried out there. So if we were to fix this, we will have to. Those concrete anchors will have to be buried for us to. So then we have to get Joe Harding's approval for that as well.
Yeah, so we put some money into the supplement request to fix the tower at Shale Hills. I don't know that we put in enough because the company hadn't come and delivered the bad news that it was worse than we had understood it to be. But nonetheless, if we get the supplement, then we have some money to fix it. So everything is waiting for the supplement. I just emailed them like 2 weeks ago, and they said they're under internal review.
And the idea is that an RFP is maybe coming sometime this summer.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to have been, last fall, and it was supposed to have been in the spring, and then, now we haven't seen it, and, we're just not getting anywhere at all. I mean, I have heard things like that they really want new teams, new CBOs. But then they come up with this supplement idea, which makes it sound like they want to keep some of the old teams going. So I really don't know what's going on. I do think that part of it was what was going on with the government because they didn't have a budget until relatively recently. I still get confused about all the different versions of the budget that you hear, but I think they finally got a budget. And so I think there should be an RFP coming out. But I don't know what'll be on the RFP. I don't know what the plan of it'll be. It's kind of dispiriting. It's at least partially related to the politics of what's happening in the country right now, though. Yeah. Nobody knows what's going on. I just see that. Yes?
I would be intrigued at some point to visit about the carbon and nitrogen sampling based on what's going on. Since you said that's not a field plan, that's a thought about does our modeling system say we're sensitive to a measuring hopefully even optimize the same.
Like a seminar where we talk about comparing theory to measurement for carbon and nitrogen.
What do we think we need to measure for a reaction rate?
Right. You might want to try to do something like that even this summer, like late spring or something.
Revisit the hydrology that way too. We did that, done that before.
Every time we do that, we learn something. So we did put out the 2 papers for the Data System Journal. One was on Shale Hills that I spearheaded, and one was by Lily. She got hers in on time, and ours went in a little bit late. But I don't think we've shared those around with people, and I think we probably should. Well, in fact, it hasn't gone in, right? It's going in today. It will go in today. It's going in today. Sorry. I told her, yeah, I'll submit it. So in my head, it's submitted now. But anyway, we should share that around because those actually are pretty useful, those papers. They pull things together. The Shale Hills one has a summary of the carbon budget, this nitrogen budget, the manganese budget, and the water budget. So that's the first time we tried to do that. That's pretty interesting. And then the one that we at least pulled together on Coal Farm and Garner Run kind of pulls together lots of different things, which can be very helpful, especially with Coal Farm, where we're just starting to understand what we've got coming. So we should probably put those up on box for people. Everyone has to know that it's, it's still kind of confidential. It's still an internal document, although I can't imagine someone's going to steal ideas from it. It's really more like a handbook about our site. So that was good. Anything else?
For my field where I mentioned, we're doing some soil pouring just on 30 bucks throughout the catchment, and some or I guess there's 14 outside of the catchment. South.
So when you say a soil coring on a tip up, what do you mean there?
So
in the pit or the mound? Or
well, so
tree?
both, and then also married near. But I mean, at the deepest, I think we decided that we're going to use 30 centimeter this light camera orders, and we'll just be taking kind of one set of those around midsummer, and then I'll be doing some sort of very shallow soil samples.
So I didn't know you were going to do that, and I've got some reports on pit and mound pairs that we analyzed before that I should give you.
Yeah,
and
the stuff we talked about with Diana.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
And, we essentially were doing tau, which is mass balanced, which is, you definitely want to do even the rock fragments, because you can really, it was possible to learn some things about it. If you want to ask those questions, there's other questions you might ask.
well, I'd like to, we should talk about the questions that you asked and how you sampled. We want to dovetail.
Yeah, I thought that stuff was write-upable, that was the word, but I thought Diana was going to do that, but she doesn't seem to do it.
What would be the best way for us to learn about?
Well, it was in my class, and I have write-ups from students, and I can share those. And
So start with that.
yeah, and that describe.
Right.
And there, I was trying to get posters on the trees for all hands, partly because Jim Fang is coming, and she's really been doing this. She published a review of depth of rooting, worldwide, and she's been learning about the evolution of roots. So she's definitely interested in tree rooting and its effects on water. So I just thought the more we could pull our tree stuff together and at least put it into posters, the better. I was really encouraged. I hope I know it's early on, but it can just be so helpful just to put your numbers up, whatever you measure, you don't know what they mean. Because sometimes you can move forward just looking at stuff all in one place, even if you're not ready to explain it. Whatever you're comfortable with, I think that could be great. Somebody had a question over here. I think
I should say, so in the background of our large size parade, there'll also be these 63 nodes. These are the green flags, and those instruments are about the size of a saucepan, and they'll be sticking up to the ground, and they will continue through June 25th. I think all the other will be pulled out, but just if you see these white kind of large can-looking objects, that's what they are, and there'll be a green flag next to them.
Are they only going to be in Shale Hills or also outside?
We're going to try to just keep them in Shale Hills.
Okay. Yeah, because we've gotten into this issue because first part of the issue is I forgot to tell Joe Harding that this project was starting. I'm not sure whether we have to pay extra for this other project or not, but anyway, we'll figure that part out. But I also didn't realize we were going outside the watershed. And Joe wants to take out all the trees that fell down. That's money on the ground for him. And so we're just trying to talk it through with him about what we're going to do about, all these flags or whatever. So, it didn't work out.
Yeah. When are these flags going to start going
So the flags are supposed to arrive today, and so I expect we'll get them in the ground beginning Wednesday. And they'll be approximately 1 meter apart because of the instruments are spaced at 2 meters and the shops are spaced at 3 meters alternating. But everything will be pushed far into the ground. We'll put just the little flags will be sitting on top. It will be at a 1 meter spacing across the first western third of the watershed.
So now he's going to be able to show us everywhere the water goes in this miracle. Miracle. It'll be like ultrasound. You see the umbilical cord of Shale.
The water.
You're going to see the trees breathing.
Are you able to figure out a survey?
We're not sure. We hope. If the gods are with it, it'll work.
Might be worth planning for when the satellite constellations are in alignment. So you can basically get the forward predictions of basically where the GPS satellites are going to be, and so you can actually design it so that you go out when they're both have the best line of sight for the topography in Shale Hills.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to
But that is like only like once a month or something?
Well, it just depends. So it varies throughout each day, right? So it's just like what time of day is better than others, right? So it's that might be just a minor thing compared to the issue of the trees, but if that helps you to get you're down in the bottom of the valley, I don't know.
Maybe yeah, any help?
Anything you want to say, John?
So we got a small grant funded to start collecting some new data over in Leading Ridge. Still kind of curious how that can contribute to the overall CPM mission, but just that site needs some care and feeding. So I'm in the process of writing more proposals to just bring that stuff up, bring those weirs up to collect kind of research grade data again.
Well, in our original proposal, we said we were going to work with you. Then told me we didn't have time, like, good.
There's that.
Anything else, anybody? All right. Thanks for coming. This is a good thing to do, even if it, I don't know.
Sorry.
It's not really
You can
boring.
say boring.